Hi everyone, I'm Avinash Shah and I'm excited to share a recent project I completed using Power BI. Now, this project called Business Insights 360 focuses on analyzing AtliQ Technologies data, which is a company, an imaginary company which sell PC, mouse, keyboard, etc. So the task was to analyze their finances, their sales and marketing and more. So let me talk to you about the project in brief. So what I have done is I have created different dashboards for various departments. As you can see on the home page, we can see that I have a finance dashboard, a sales dashboard, a marketing dashboard, a supply chain dashboard, and in the end, a separate dashboard for the executive. Now, these dashboards cover all the aspects of the business. So let me walk you through each of them and tell you about the key features and insights of my Power BI report and show you how they can be used to make data-driven decisions. So let me tell you about the homepage first. As you can see, there are different buttons for on to visit all the separate dashboards. Other than that, we have a button for information. On clicking, you can see that you can download an Excel version, live Excel version. You can get your FAQs solved and other information regarding the project. Then we have a separate button for support. So if you are new to Power BI, if you want to check out the contingency plan, if you want to add a new request, if you want to provide feedback, or you have any issue and you want to get it resolved, so you can click on them and get those issues resolved. And on the bottom left, we can see there is this is mentioned as December 21. So what it is that the last sales month that we have in this data. So whenever it gets updated, so this will also get updated dynamically. So now let's visit our first dashboard, which is for the finance team. Now, on this dashboard, we have few KPIs that is for net sales, then we have gross margin percentage, then we have net profit percentage, and we have a line chart for net sales performance over time. Then we have a profit and loss statement, and then we have top bottom products and customers by net sales. So on this, other than that, on the top right, we have these three buttons. One is for filters, then there is for information as we saw on the homepage, and this one is for support, just like we saw on the homepage. On clicking on filters, it will open up a filter pane and we can select the values by last year, or we want to compare it with the targets that were set up by the company. We can do that also. Then we can select the time frame, the years, the quarters. We can select the year to date or the year to go. We can also filter by region. We can filter by customers, by segments. And in the end, here there are the abbreviations that are being used in this project. So the abbreviations are mentioned here, and also the values that are there are in million dollars. All right. So now let's move to the project. Now this dashboard here, we can see on the, let's talk about the KPIs first. We can see that net sales dollars, the gross margin percentage, and net profit percentage. And it is showing the BM benchmark here. The BM is for benchmark, which we have used as the benchmark. We used the last year values. So we can see compared to last year, net sales have increased. The gross margin have decreased compared to last year and it decreased by close to 10%. The net profit percentage decreased by a large amount, close to 139%. It decreased by 139%. Then we have net sales performance over time. This line chart is showing us that data. And it starts from September and goes till August. So why it is here is that because the fiscal year of AtliQ starts from September and it ends in August. So that is why this graph starts from September and goes till August. And we can see there are a few things that we can get from this line chart. One is that we can see there are a large amount of sales are coming in the first during the first 4 months of their fiscal year. All right. Other than that, we see in the fiscal year 2020 there is a sudden dip in their net sales. Even they fell, it went lower compared to the last year values. So this bottom darker area is the last year values, and the area this above line which has these dots is the current year value, that is the fiscal year 2020 value, and the line at the bottom it is the fiscal year 2019. So we can see compared to 2019 their sales decreased, their sales were less than that in the month of March, and then they uh, increased slightly. Now, there could be a reason, for, the certain reason for that, and one of the possible reasons is that COVID also happened during that time only. So, COVID can be the reason for these huge dip in the net sales. Other than that, we can see the first 4 months are bringing large amount of sales. So the reason for this could be that it could be seasonal based on festivals. As we can see, we have a lot of festivals in India during these months. So it could be seasonal during those festival seasons. They are getting a lot of sales. It could be seasonal trend. And we can verify that also. Let's come down here. As we can see here right now, we can see the region, the Asia Pacific region, North America, the European Union, and the Latin America. And we can see Asia Pacific is contributing maximum to the net sales, and also India is in this region. So let's go down and check further. Yeah, now we can see that India is at the top in Asia Pacific, contributing maximum to the net sales. So yeah, as we talked earlier, that this is one of the reason for high net sales during the first 4 months of the fiscal year. And we can also check this by category, that is the keyboard and in which market keyboard. Yeah, so the market of India is contributing maximum to the sales of keyboard. We can also check by product. In the keyboard category, the AQ Lite brought maximum sales. Other, we can also check for other, like in the business laptop, we can see the AQ BZ Gen Y brought the maximum sales in here. All right, and then we have profit and loss statement. Here we can see all the data that is required by the company, and we can see the columns are the 2020 values. The benchmark for us right now is the last year value. Then we have change and change percentage. And we can see compared to last year, gross sales increased by 156%, their net sales increased by 140%, their freight cost increased by 171%. And yeah, the COVID could be a reason for that, as during that time, there was a lot of struggle in, especially in the transportation sector. So the costs were very high. So this could be a reason. And the total cost of goods sold also increased by a lot. And we can see their operational expenses decreased, their net profit decreased by about 193%, which is a huge drop in their net profit percentage. So yeah, and we can also, other than that, as you can see, the line chart is showing us net sales performance over time. If you want to look at the total cost performance over time, we can do that as well. We can see the net invoice sales performance. We can check for gross margin also. All right. So this is the data that we can filter it out accordingly as according to the requirement. All right. Now let's move to the next dashboard, that is for the sales team. Here on this dashboard, we have a scatter plot. Then we have this metrics. Then we have donut chart at the bottom. And we can see in the metrics, in the scatter plot, we have net sales on the x-axis and we have gross margin on the y-axis. And we can see for the products, the AQWI powered D2 is bringing maximum net sales, and also it is high in gross margin. So it is a quite good product in terms of contributing to the net sales and bringing in high gross margin as well. And here we have one more thing, that is gross margin percentage variance. What it is here for is that now what happens that companies set targets. All right. So they can achieve it or they might not achieve it. They can go beyond their targets. They might stay at less. Like for example, let's say they set up a target to achieve a gross margin of 30%, but they might achieve say 20%, or they can also go over 30%. All right. So what it is here for is that for to filter out those products or those customers who fell short of that target. All right. So if the suppose gross margin percentage was 30%, so let's say we want to check for the for the products which fell short of the target by 2%. So we can filter it out accordingly. Or the customers, say customers who fell short of the target by 2%. So these are those customers which fell short of the target by 2%. All right. And we also have this tooltip here on which we can analyze the performance of that specific customer. So we can see the net sales, the gross margin went down there, and we can see their performance throughout the year, their net sales performance as well as the gross margin percentage performance throughout the year. All right. Other than that, here we have two donor charts actually. The outer donor chart is showing us values of total post-invoice deduction, which is close to 26.7%. Then we have pre-invoice deduction, which is 23.27%. Then we have net sales, which is 50% of the donor chart. Now, the inner donor chart is here to show us the breakup of this net sales. So we saw that 50% of the donor chart is net sales, and in values, it is around $268 million. So let's see, this inner donor chart is showing us that 62, close to 63% of this net sales was total cost of goods sold, and 37% of it was gross margin. All right, so this is just a breakup of that. And we can, other than that, let's go to the marketing dashboard. Here we can see on the marketing dashboard, we have again a scatter plot, then we have a matrix, then we have this pie chart showing a breakup of net sales, and then we have this waterfall chart showing us gross margin, the operational expenses, and what was our net profit at the end. All right, so we can see the operational expenses is in red, so which means it is in negatives. Net profit is in red, it is also going down, it is also in negatives. Other than that, on the scatter plot above us, we can see on the axis is the net sales. On the y-axis, we can see the net profit percentage. All right. So what it is showing us is that let's talk about India. India is to the far right on the x-axis. So what this means is that India is bringing high net sales. All right. It is bringing the highest net sales. Other than that, the net profit percentage is in negatives. So it is one of the markets which is having the least amount of net profit. All right. So the company might want to look into this and dive deeper into this, like, and find out the problem here. What is the problem that because of which they are facing less net profit? So they can work on that and they can improve it. Other than that, we can also check for gross margin percentage here. Now we have India here on the far right, bringing the maximum net sales, and its gross margin is also high, but not very high compared to other products. For example, other markets, example, Australia. Australia is not bringing that much net sales, but its gross margin is very high. So what the company might want to do is they might want to focus on these markets with a high gross margin percentage, but less net sales. So they might want to uh, say formulate a plan to move them to the right of this scatter plot so that these markets can bring high net sales as well as high gross margin. Same for India and USA, they might want to increase the gross margin here. As these markets are already bringing high net sales, so they can focus on increasing the gross margin in these markets, which in turn will increase the net profit. All right. Now on the right hand side, we have this matrix. We have the market, the net sales, the gross margin percentage, the net profit, and the net profit percentage. All right. And the change in net profit percentage compared to last year. So that right now we are seeing the market performance. So Indonesia had the highest Indonesia is at the top here in terms of the net profit percentage. Other than that, we can also check by region. If you want to check by region, now we have European Union, the Latin America, the Asia Pacific, and the North America. And we can see on the scatter plot as well the region performance by gross margin percentage. Asia Pacific is bringing high net sales, but its gross margin is not as high as compared to European Union and North America. So the company might want to look into it and see how they can improve here. And we can also check this by segment. So we can see the segment of processor, internal HDD, and other segments as well. And we are seeing that their net profits are in negatives all for all of them. So the company should definitely look into it and should focus on improving their performance and improving the net profit here, and to find out the reasons why they are facing less and less net profit percentage in throughout all the segments. All right, all the sorry, right now we are in categories, so they might want to look into why they are facing these kind of losses in their all the categories. Then we might want to look at by segment, so we can see by segment also all the segments are having the negative net profit percentage, just like the categories. Then we can, if you want to check the segment performance by net profit, by gross margin, we can do that. All right. Other than that, now let's move on to the next dashboard, which is for the supply chain team. On this, we have these KPI cards, which show the forecast accuracy percentage, the net error, and the absolute error. All right. So the forecast accuracy is showing us 73%, which means that the 73% of the time, the supply chain teams, the forecast that the supply chain team had made, they were right 73% of the time. All right. Then 6 million was the absolute error. Then 492 was their net error. So other than that, we have this chart here in on this accuracy and net error trend. We have two lines which is showing us the forecast accuracy. The last year, the dotted line is for the forecast accuracy of last year, and then this solid line is for the forecast accuracy of the current year, that is the fiscal year 2020. All right. Now these bars here, these bars are showing us the net error, and we can see for few months they are in the positives. For 3 months from March to May, they are in the positive, the bars, and for other months they are in the negative. So what this means that the positive net error and the negative net error, what it means is that for positive net error, as we can see on the right matrix here, we can see when the net error is positive, the risk is EI, which stands for excess inventory. All right. When the net error is negative, it stands the risk is of out of stock. So the company faced out of stock situation almost throughout the year, except for the month of March, April, and May. In these months, they had the risk of excess inventory. Now, we also saw the net sales decreased by a lot in these months, and COVID could be a reason for that, as because they had the supply, but the demand suddenly went down, so they had this situation of excess inventory. All right. Then we can check the key metrics by product also for storage. What was the forecast accuracy? What was it last year? Then what was the net error? And what was the risk associated with that? whether they had the excess inventory or whether they were facing out of stock situations. So the company can look into it, they can analyze and they can focus it, how they can solve these risks of out of stock or having excess inventory. All right, as these put extra burdens on the company because they if they are having excess inventory, they are not bringing up that much sales. The cost goes high, the burden goes up on the company. All right, then we can move on to the executive view here. On the executive view, we have why was it created is because it has almost it covers the key metrics for the business for the executives. They might just want to look into all the key metrics at one place, so they can do it with the help of this executive dashboard. All right, on this we have net sales, we have gross margin percentage, the net profit percentage, and we have forecast accuracy. Along with that we have the graph. Along with that, on the KPI cards, what these graphs are showing us, it is showing us the yearly what was the performance. All right, so we can see the gross margin is it went up in 2019, then went down till 2021. Then the estimate is for 2022 is that it will move up compared to the last year. Then net profit, it was in the positives in 2019. Then for the rest of the year, it is just going down. All right. Same. We can look for forecast accuracy. We can see net sales is increasing by a lot for the fiscal year 2022. All right. Now let's go to revenue contribution. We can see networks and securities, the peripherals and accessories, and the personal computers. So we can see here 47% of the revenue contribution is coming from peripherals and accessories. All right, and we can also check it by channel. So we can see the distributor channel and the retailer channel and the direct channel. So the highest revenue contribution is coming through the retailer channel. All right, then we have key metrics over here. We can see, let's go into focus mode on this graph. So here the bars here are showing us the net sales. So we can see from 2018 till 2022 the bars are just increasing. So we can say that net sales are increasing year over year. All right, then we have gross margin. This above the topmost line chart is showing us gross margin. We can see it is not varying that much. It is almost from 37, 38, and 41. So it is not varying that much. Other than that, this line here, the darker line in the middle, this one is showing us AtliQ's market share. All right, we can see in 2018 it was 0.1%, which is almost they were just starting out at that point of time. And in 2022, estimated is that their market share is going up to around 6%, which is quite good. Other than that, we can also see net profit. We can see the net profit was in negatives in 2018. It went to be positive in 2019, but again after that it has been just going down and down. All right, so company might want to look into this and solve this issue of negative net profit percentage. Then we can see there this the market share of other competitors of AtliQ. So we can see AtliQ, as we saw earlier, AtliQ market share was around 0.1% in 2018, and now it is going to be around close to 6%, the estimated value for fiscal year 2022. Other than that, we can see this one here, which is for Dale. Its market share it was at top in 2018 and it is again at top in 2022. But its market share has decreased from 25.7% to 22.3%. Similarly, we can see this one here, that is Pacer. Its market share was at 8.7%. It went down to 7.6%. For here, we can see that market share of BP, it went up, then it went down again. It was at 7.8% in 2018. Now in 2022, the estimated is 7.9%. So it increased a little bit. All right. Other than this, there are top five customers who are bringing highest net sales. Then what was their revenue contribution? What was the gross margin percentage? And these arrows here, red arrows here, are depicting that the gross margin was lower than the last year value. All right. Similarly, we can see for top five products by net sales, their revenue contribution. Then we can see key insights, the subzone. For all the subzones, we can see, and at what is the market share of AtliQ in those subzones, we can see that as well at the same time. All right, so these are the market share of AtliQ on the right column, extreme right column. What was the revenue contribution, the gross margin on that subzone? What was the net error? What was the net profit? What was the risk these subzones were facing? So we can see excess inventory, out of stock situations. All right, so the executives can look into this. Thank you for taking out the time to watch my presentation on Business Insights 360. I hope you liked the insights and the features of this Power BI report. If you have any questions or would like to discuss this project further, you can connect with me here on LinkedIn, or you can connect via email as well. And also, I have attached the live link to this report, so you can check that out as well. And I look forward to hearing your feedback as well as connecting to fellow data enthusiasts and data professionals. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.